Hello, 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 and welcome to Dear Dana. I'm being silly. I just smashed my finger in the freezer door, so I'm trying to deflect pain. Leave it to me. I slung that freezer door hard with my finger inside. So I am trying to convince myself that my finger isn't broken and doesn't hurt. I did not say I had the most common sense in the world. You will find most intelligent people are lacking in some areas, and that is probably mine. I don't know what it is with me and light. I'm trying to turn some of the light away, and I am still blaring a glow today. Shoeless, when Steve and I did some healing work this morning, hey Leanne, with someone that is dealing with cancer, and I am blaring a glow still today. Hey, Marie Crum, how are you doing? So, we are doing a topic today that I would say hits the majority, if not all of us, at least from time to time. Coping with stress and anxiety, tools for relief, and much, much more, and identifying triggers. Even I have dealt with this and still deal with this on occasion. Yes, sir. And when I was younger, let me tell you. Hello, Ordered Steps. So nice to see you. When I was younger, it was prevalent with me. And I mean prevalent. A lot of it probably had to do with some of the gifts I had because I had trouble coping with them and didn't know how to cope with them and saw them in a vastly different way. But also, anxiety itself, some of it can be from childhood, but some of it can also be inherited chemically. But we'll get to more of that here shortly. I'm going to go ahead and drop the intro, and we will continue with these conversations here in a moment. So let me go ahead and do the thing. I need to get on it and quit procrastinating and do some refresh on this channel. I definitely do. Need to zhuzh it up and do some fun things and learn how to do some of the pop-in things to make it a little more interesting. I definitely do. But anyway, I digress. Hello, Arseny Pesikoff. Hopefully I say your last name right and don't butcher it all of the time. But also, if some of you have rung the bell for the notifications and things like that, please check, because Ordered Steps says she has done that in the past and doesn't get the notifications. Also, if you've subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. I want to make sure I'm not getting shadow banned or anything like that by YouTube. And I have no way of knowing because I don't subscribe to myself. That's not a thing. And sometimes YouTube will drop off your subscription and you have to resubscribe. The algorithm and analytics are so funky sometimes. So you do have to check those things. I would appreciate it and just let me know. I don't know why you do get them. Okay, Marie, thank you. I don't know why that happens. Sometimes you can say words they don't like. And I just found out today they don't like it when you say G-O-D. Just found that out today in some of my readings when I was reading online. Didn't know that, by the way. So I guess I'll just make sure I say creator or powers that be or whatever. That's one of the words they don't like it when you say A-B-U-S-E. and just various and sundry. I need to go look up the all the no words because I'm sure I don't know them all. But anywho, um, if any of you have dealt with, look, I know we've all dealt with stress. I would be surprised if anyone in the bushes or the chat have never dealt with anxiety. I would be surprised because I know I have. I've dealt with both. Psychotherapist or not, I've dealt with both. My whole family, my dad anxiety, I mean, he's no longer here. I would have to, I'm sure he did. I know he dealt with stress. He never admitted to anxiety. I would be highly surprised if he never did. Arseny says, I get most notifications a day late. It's okay. I don't rely on them anyway. Oh, thank you, Arseny. And by the way, thank you for your post in my comments. I'm going to follow up with her. I would love to do a collab with her. Love, love, love. I love her. I love Lisa. I have to see how she wants to do it or whatever. I'm tiny. She's big. She's a lot bigger than me. As far as anxiety, like I said, some of it can be genetically inherited. Some of it can be brought on from things that happen in childhood. A lot of it can be triggered from childhood. Some of it can be situational anxiety, that is. We've got that little part of our brain that's, from caveman days that kicks in for fight or flight. Once upon a time, we had to run from dinosaurs. That fight or flight hormone kicks in. But we don't run from dinosaurs anymore. So there are times we have to question it. Do we really need to run from something? And we have to use our intelligent brain to question it. Why is it kicking in? But some of it gets triggered. The anxiety gets triggered. Now, I definitely had test anxiety because I couldn't memorize things. I had this thing where I just couldn't memorize it. I had to literally learn everything. I wasn't like one of those lucky college students that could memorize it the night before long enough to take the exam. That wasn't me. I had to learn all the information and have it ingrained in my mind. So when I took the exam, I actually remembered the stuff. But it just made it harder on me. I had to keep beating it in myself all along the way. So, and I was a perfectionist. I've given myself a little grace since then. Not so much a perfectionist about some things, but I didn't get to. Not that I was a partier, but I didn't get to relax as much as the other students. So, test anxiety, yeah. But it was just built into everybody in my family. Now, I have one brother, very OCD, still very perfectionistic. He's at the top of the top in his occupation. It very much helps him in his occupation to have the OCD, to carry a little anxiety. He's happily married, but I'd be willing to bet you it does cause some stress on his marriage. His wife is very sweet. I don't think it is, and he's a great guy. His friends love him, but I know his friends, his wife, have to give him grace. I don't know how effective it is with his relationships. Does he get therapy or medication? Nope and nope. Would it probably help him? Yep. Yeah. Um, my younger brother, he seems all chill, but underneath it all, he's carrying all that stress and anxiety. Look, don't let people's outer selves fool you. The people that seem real chill, underneath it all, probably carrying anxiety. You just don't know it. People look differently when they're carrying it. Some of the most chill looking folks are carrying the anxiety, definitely carrying the stress. It evolves from different places, you know? And these days, I have never seen so many teenagers in my life, young on up, dealing with mental health issues. I kid you not. I have never seen so many. And this goes from teaching to being around my daughter and her friends. I've never seen so many in my life. And I'm sure that, the pandemic didn't help. But even prior to that, I have never seen so many. So there's an explosion. And I'm telling you, mental health is going to way come to the forefront. And we're hearing more and more and more and more about it, even on television. And it's going to come to the forefront and to the rise. You're going to hear more about it in combination with medical stuff. It's going to come to the forefront as a preventative to medical problems. Mark my word. Mark my word. Because you're going to hear more about it, and science is going to tell you that it is a precursor to so many diseases. Watch and see. It is on the cusp of you hearing this. So, when it comes to anxiety, we have so much negative automatic thought. And I touched on this the other day. We go straight into negative talk, negative thinking. And I talked about the other day, oh, be quiet, phone. If my daughter does not fix this where it doesn't ding and bong and boom all the time, I'm going to throw this thing. No, I'm not going to say that. I just got it back. Anyway, I made a statement the other day. We are all so quick. The first thing we want to talk about when we talk to friends and people around us is, this bad thing happened. I heard this negative thing, this drama. Guess what happened? Negative, 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 bad, sucky. This is primarily what we talk about. It's rare, but we do, that the main places we go to are, guess what? Do you remember when? I love this memory. All these happy, good, nice things. It's rare that we focus on happy, good, nice, lovely, positive discussions and memories. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Curious, right? Very curious. Right now, and I'm not going to say, there is another channel we started at the same time. And you can go there, and it's no shade on her. None whatsoever. I have no problem with her. She's always been nice to me. I'll go there occasionally. Everybody's nice to me. Zero shade. But the most upside down, janky, negative, bickering, negative stuff I've ever heard in my life. Really, no direction. And like I said, no shade. And sometimes the conversation's okay, but it's primarily bickering, negative, cursing. Just, I don't know. And again, no shade. And sometimes they play games, but it's just really no direction. But it's primarily negative. Sometimes it's offensive. And it rises and rises and rises, right? And again, I'm saying no shade. I really, truly mean, genuinely mean that. Nobody's ever been ugly to me. She's always been nice to me. And the channel's growing. With all intention, I've always been trying to help people over here. And I'm turtling along. My point is negative and dark and dramatic, etc., people gravitate to like flies. If you're trying to be positive and helpful, and people don't. So my point is conversation seems to be the same. Hey, Sheila's one. Our conversations in general seem to be the same. It's like, my day sucks. I don't feel good. This and this and this is going on. Oh, did you hear what happened to so and so? Why is society generally like that? Do we have any thoughts about that? And it's the same way in our own life, in our own head. We gravitate toward negative automatic thought. Our focus tends to ruminate that way. That was my point about the channels. Like I said, they've always been lovely to me. I was just making a point. No shade, no nothing. Everybody's lovely there to me. When I popped over. But do you understand what I'm trying to say? Negative automatic thought. People gravitate to that pattern. But what happens is, Nikki says, hey, Nikki, seems like negativity has a special, powerful gravitational pull. And it does, but why? Why? Ordered Step says, that's why I try to stay as positive as I can, even when I'm dealing with negative stuff or struggles, because I don't want to bring any of that to anyone else. Now, listen, when you're dealing with stuff, if you were with a friend, a family, a partner, and you're talking with each other and you're trying to work through what you're going through, that is entirely different. It's entirely different. Because when you're working through something with someone you care about, it's not a burden, because love with someone you love creates a pattern of it not being a burden, because you're trying to find a solution and you're taking something off your soul. That's vastly different. Does that make sense? Sheila once said, people follow what's resonating in their life. It's easier to stay there. It's like my dad used to say, and I've said it before, water seeks its own level. Some people don't want to heal. Some people are more comfortable in the victim mode. And why is that? Some people are more comfortable in the victim mode. Marie says, The negative channels, I just don't get why people are drawn to them. Now, some people are drawn to negative because maybe it makes their life seem better. Maybe it makes their life seem better or doesn't make their life seem as bad. But if you're trying to get away from that, you know how sometimes you might say to yourself, oh, my life is so bad. I'm a failure. I didn't do this right. I can't get this right. Or I'm never going to make it to where I want to go. Instead of allowing that thought to be from the thought, right? Take the thought outside of you and make it to the thought, right? Look to the thought as a thing outside of you instead of making the thought come from you. When you make it come from you, like you ruminate inside of you, look to the thought so you can look at it more objectively. Get what I'm saying? Like if I'm going, I'm a terrible manager. If you go, what is it to be a better manager? Instead of making an I statement, take it away and make it a to statement. Take the thought away from yourself. It makes a vast difference. It takes some of the emotion off of it. So you're not creating more anxiety and stress. When we, please be quiet, phone. When we stick that thought within ourselves all the time and ruminate about it, it tanks up anxiety. People ruminate and make it so much within themselves that it just rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and increases. If we realize we have 20,000 thoughts a day, isn't that crazy? We literally have 20,000 thoughts a day. It might not seem like it. That is a lot. 20,000 thoughts a day? And people might think, well, I have them all at one time. No, you don't. You can't have but a thought at a time. They're just happening so quickly. They're happening so quickly. And when we keep focusing and creating them where they snowball into negative, 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 it just increases our stress and our body reacts. And when your body reacts and the tension in your body rises, guess what? The anxiety begins to peak. Your blood pressure begins to peak. Your cortisol, your stress hormone, the fight or flight hormone begins to peak. It becomes a vicious cycle. Everything begins to rise. Everything begins to rise. In the chat, and come up anytime you want, but in the chat, tell me some of the things that trigger your anxiety or cause you the most stress. I would like to know. Or what makes it difficult for you to lower your anxiety? Or do you have any particular skills to do so? Part of the problem is everybody loads so much on their plate and they don't know how to minimize it because you feel like you have to do XYZ and do everything in a day. Why do you feel like you have to do everything? Because at the end of the day, you're missing out on what is important in life, and that's actually life. What is important in life is life. That's the big secret. It's actually life. And if all you're packing into your day is the stress and anxiety, what are you doing? And that was a big slap in the face for me. What am I doing? And part of it for me too was, I mean, a big part of it was, I realized when I was around Noah, any anxiety or stress I had, he physically could pick up on. He physically could pick up on. And that only increased his stress. And I already had to give him stress hormones to lower the stress level in his body. Order Step says, do I have to get on camera? Just wondering because I'm not on camera ready. No, you can put your avatar up there. I don't care because I know who you are. Hey, Debbie Coakley, how are you doing? No, you can put your, I know who you are, Order Steps. You do not have to get on camera, honey. As long as I know who you are, I'm cool. If I don't know who you are, um, well, even if I don't know who you are, I can always take you off if you're being inappropriate. I just had that one flasher on that time that, yeah, pretended to be Busy Blue, and that was, ooh, honey. I don't know if any of you were around when that happened, but that was not good. But no, you don't have to be up. We forget about the life in our life. And sometimes you have to think back, you have to process, where did my initial stress come from? Leanne said, the kids with autism I work with, let's see, let me pull it up, pick up immediately if I'm stressed or upset. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one of the main reasons that I push the conscious breathing exercises, because it will immediately begin to lower your stress levels and bring down your anxiety. I mean, it's not just step one to learning meditation. It will bring down your blood pressure, your stress, and your anxiety. Science tests have shown that. So, again, I remind you, inhale through your nose to the count of 4. Hold it to the count of 4. And blow out through your mouth to the count of 4. And repeat up to 4 times, especially when you're around the kiddos. Because special needs children, particularly, all of them I have found are very empathic. What they lack in some areas, they pick up in other areas, and they feel. They're very empathic. They pick up on emotion. Even my dogs pick up on my emotions. Animals have that ability as well. Just like they often pick up on seizures and pick up on medical problems, often before other people do. That's why I'm training my Clio to try to pick up on things with me prior. So when my husband's not around and my daughter's not around, she can be there sort of as a comfort if I have a relapse or something. Or she can sort of warn me ahead of time. And I'm bringing up Ordered Steps. Hello, Ordered Steps.
Hey, Dana, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Because I muted the YouTube just so I wouldn't be having reverberation. But the last thing I heard was something about special needs
Yeah.
children. What were y'all saying? I missed a part of that.
that special needs, what they may lack or are different in some areas, they're very like intuitive and empathic and can
Hmm.
pick up on emotions and feelings very, very well.
Okay, because as soon as I heard special needs when I was trying to come in, I was like, hmm, because even though I don't consider myself a special need as a special needs person, having cerebral palsy, I know that people nowadays would label me as such, but my parents didn't treat me any differently because back in the day they didn't know what it was. They just thought, oh, she's just pigeon toed, she'll grow out of it. And then since I never did, that's what they thought. And so I didn't even know I had cerebral palsy until I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, but oh, yeah, we've had this conversation. We go way back. I forgot about that. But, but one of the things I was thinking about because you really lifted some stuff off of me within these last 5 minutes because I have been holding in a lot of stuff because I was like, I don't want to be a burden to anybody. I want to make sure that I take care. See, this is why I didn't want to be on camera because I'm already starting to cry.
It's okay, honey.
But dealing with my health issues and stuff, and I try to hold it in and try not to tell anybody because I don't want them to think that, oh Lord, here she comes again with health issues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what causes me stress and anxiety because I feel like I, and I know I think about it myself, but I feel like nobody can really understand what I'm going through because nobody else has to go through what I go through. And I'm
Yeah.
talking about the people who are around me, whether it's a family or people I work with or anything like that. Dang it, Dana, why do you make me cry?
You are so loved. You are so loved.
Anyway, okay, I'm out. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop crying now.
It's
Sorry,
okay.
chat.
It's okay to cry. It's
But
okay.
here's another, well, since you said that, here's another quote unquote issue that I have with myself. And I'm gonna put it on myself, even though you said to look to the thought instead of putting the thought on you. But even though I know that it's okay to cry, I still don't like crying in front of people because I have the thoughts of they already see me as, you know, either less than or weaker. And if I cry, that makes me look even weaker than what they think. And I know, and like I said, I know that's me thinking that because other people may not even be thinking that. I'm just projecting that they might be thinking that. And
Look,
it's been coming. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know. Crying is a release and it's very healing.
Yeah, I don't like to do it in front of people. I like to get behind closed doors and then cry it out and then go back out into the world because, but the thing is I like to be somebody who likes to help other people. I just don't like asking for help because I still have a little part of me that feels like I have to prove that I can do stuff by myself.
I
And
get
so
that.
that's where a lot of my ruminating thoughts come from, and I've been feeling it a lot lately. So
Shoeless one just said, it's never a weakness, order steps. And Marie said, oh, honey, I sure understand what you're going through. Look, you are getting so much love in the comment area. Do you see that?
I just turned them on. Y'all gonna make me cry. I just turned them on.
You are a strong woman and human being. You know, Noah had CP among other things.
Hmm.
When you came upon this earth, you were already an earthbound angel. Do you not realize that? You are going through things that most people never have to navigate, and you still have a caring soul. So don't think for 1 second that you don't have to prove anything to anybody. The fact that you care about people when you're already having to deal with stuff, that right there speaks volumes.
I appreciate you saying that.
But that's the truth. I'm not. ever going to say anything to you that I don't mean.
Oh yeah, I
Period.
know that. I've known that from day one that I met you. I do know that.
So when you're going through health stuff and everything, believe me, people in here understand.
Mm.
We
Well,
understand.
here's the other part of it though, is that I guess because especially now, because I'm really going through a lot of health stuff right now, and I guess I guess it's in the same vein that as we get older, blah blah blah, whatever. But even when people say, well, when you get older, this happens, I'm like, yeah, but for me, it's really intensified because now I'm I'm going through like um that premature aging to where my body is starting to feel like an 85-year-old, and
Mm,
I'm not even in my out of my 40s yet. So, and it feels like I don't know. It just I can't describe it. I'm always in pain. I've already told you that. I'm in pain every day from day one, but it's like getting really intense and stuff. And I just lost my whole train of thought.
you're
I
at that state where you're going through premature aging and the pain is chronic.
Yeah, well, it's been chronic. It's just getting a little more than I would like to handle. But I know I'm gonna be okay because I have to constantly tell myself that this body is temporary because once we go to we can't say the God on the platform,
And
but
that's ridiculous.
once we get to our heavenly home, I know I have a new body, so that's what keeps me going. But then I know that I'm so much harder on myself than anybody else. And
Yeah.
if I do one thing wrong, then it's like I start spiraling. Not all the time, but especially if it's something that's really important to me, then I start spiraling and it's like I dig a hole that I shouldn't be digging and I should ask for help. And then I don't ask for help until I'm like way deep down in the water to where I can't even see the surface anymore.
Why haven't you reached out to me before?
That's what I'm saying. I should have been doing that.
Yeah. You've got to
And
give
that's why
yourself some grace.
huh?
You have to give yourself some grace. Listen to me. You cannot be a vessel of light to others if you are not being a vessel of light to yourself.
Hmm.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I hear you.
And I would like to, I don't know how open you are to it, but I would like to um, offer some healing work to you privately
Okay.
if you would accept it. I can't make any promises.
Okay. We can talk about it. Yeah.
Okay. But you are not alone. You're not alone. And you are so greatly loved. And you have such a beautiful, beautiful spirit and heart. I have known that since day one. Don't be an island.
Take it. Cause I tried to. I'm like, okay, okay. I'm gonna stop crying. I hear you, and I'm gonna stop being a night. I'm gonna get me a Wilson and a boat, and I'm gonna come back to shore with everybody else and stop being off on my little island by myself.
I mean, I hope that you can feel my heart connected to yours.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, but I told you I need it. I need it as soon as I saw. Hold on. Whew.
This is
As
what
soon as
this community is about.
yeah, and that's why I was like, why am I not getting the notification? Because I was getting them for a while. And anyway, I'm gonna stop. Whoever said that they don't rely on the notifications, I'm gonna stop doing that too. I'm gonna just start checking or whatever. But no, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I have just being in the presence of you and with everybody in the chat. Not all of the weight, but the majority of the weight that has been holding me down for the last 2.5 weeks. I am physically sitting up straighter now, and I didn't realize that I was sitting so much over with all the weight I've been carrying. So I appreciate you for that. I appreciate everybody who's here who's giving me such positive vibes because I can feel it. That's for sure. Dang it! I should have called you 2.5 weeks ago.
I mean, I'm praying that you're being surrounded and lifted by angels, and that the sleep that you get tonight will be the best sleep that you've had in a while.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be. But anyway, I don't want to monopolize this whole thing. Somebody else might want to come up and talk.
Yeah, anybody can come up. Look, people don't have to show their face in here. This is about people being heard and felt. I have always wanted that. I don't want anybody looking at me like some guru. That's what worried me. You know, this is a community of love and peace and healing. I want people to be able to better understand themselves and, just like you, not to feel alone,
Yeah.
because our whole country, our world, is in a state of pain and shock and chaos. That's the truth. More
Mm.
than not. More than not. I mean, there is joy and happiness in places, but there is a lot of, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
stress and stuff going on. I'm seeing a lot of people that feel lost and confused, and they need touchstones. They need people that care.
Hmm.
I mean, you've
And
seen.
I think. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead.
No, finish
I
your
was,
statement. I'll.
I was finished.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because I think that oh, in my profession, because because you mentioned teachers and stuff, and because I am a educator, I feel like I have to make sure that I'm that positive, safe space for my students and for anybody else who needs it. That I really do forget about myself,
Yeah,
and then by the time I think about myself, I'm drowning.
yeah,
And then here's the rest of it too. If I think about, and this might be some societal conditioning or whatever it might be, but I feel like if I think about myself, then I'm being selfish.
yeah. But you're not.
And I understand that intellectually. I understand that. But it's like, no, I can't do this because what if somebody else needs this? Or I can't spend money on myself, or I can't go buy this because what if somebody needs, that kind of stuff. And that's even when I'm trying to be positive per se, that causes me a little bit of anxiety too because I feel like I have to make sure everybody's okay, and I think it comes from too with my siblings and I, and with our parents gone, we're all trying to make sure that we're taking care of each other, even though we're all spread apart.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I feel so much. I feel so much better.
But let's.
If you could see me on camera right now, you would see I have a huge grin, and I mean, snot's coming around down my nose. You don't want to see that, but I'm just saying, I feel so much better now.
But let's pretend you're a plant, and,
Okay.
and you decide you don't water yourself.
Oh, I'd be just as dry as the ends of my hair right now.
You would
I'd
end
be
up
shriveled.
wilting, and then you couldn't grow in front of your students.
Mhm.
So every time you decide that you can't for yourself, I want you to imagine that you're that plant.
Okay.
You have to. You don't have a choice.
Okay.
You have to. Heal thyself. You have to heal thyself because you can't represent and you can't be an example to. I mean, what would you tell your students if they said the same thing to you that you're saying to me?
Right.
So you're being a hypocrite.
Right. And
So,
that's what causes all of that too.
right. So you have to be able to walk the talk.
Hmm.
That was a hard, hard lesson for me. I'm still not perfect at it. So you're not going to be perfect at it, but you have to keep those thoughts in your head that you have to walk the talk and be that plant so you can begin making the effort at taking care of yourself better. And that's going to lower the stress and anxiety too.
Okay.
The fact that you aren't doing those things are increasing your anxiety and stress.
Hmm.
You see that problem?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Oh my gosh. Go ahead. I'm listening. I mean, when I every time I say, "Oh my gosh," that's just weight coming off of me. So.
so even if you have to put a sticky note up
Hmm.
that says "Heal that thyself," I am a plant, or what would I
I'm gonna
tell
just
my
walk
student?
around and go, I am Groot.
Yeah, then it will remind you that you have to take those steps. And those things will begin to lower your stress and anxiety because intellectually it's giving you permission.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Yep.
You have to do those things. And we also forget to do things like have a hobby for no reason that doesn't
Hmm.
have an end game. Like if somebody likes to knit, don't knit to make a hat, just knit.
Yeah.
Don't knit with the end game that you're making a shawl. Just mindlessly have a hobby that you just happen to enjoy, to de stress, to have fun. You have to put those things in your life. You have to put them back into your life. We are forgetting to do these things. We are spending more time on social media and less time in our actual life. And that is the truth. And that is part of the problem with our kids. They don't have life in their life. That is the truth.
Mm.
So we're having to go back and renegotiate to learn how to bring down our stress, which will help our anxiety. We're going to have to renegotiate. And a lot of you already do the help others to lessen our own bleeding. Because I know when I help other people, it just automatically makes me feel better. But that's how I'm wound up anyway. Like it helps with my grief. It cuts down on my bleeding, if that makes sense. Does that make sense to anybody?
Hmm.
I found out it cut my pain levels down. Not my physical pain, my grief pain. But anyway, don't be
Yeah, I
on.
should have called you 2.5 weeks ago. I should have called you.
But breathe, honey. Don't ever hesitate. You need to be back in this group of people.
Yes, ma'am. Am I will. It's just, yeah, I should have called. Well, I'm not going to dwell on the past. I'm here now because I was supposed to hear all of this. The Lord knew what He was doing when He told me you need to get in here and hear what she's got to say. See how I got around that?
Yeah. And it's like I've told before, if people are still dealing with past trauma, we can, I've told people we can do a private, don't want to do it openly in front of everybody, workshop on how to deal with the trauma so it's not affecting your life now. Like do a literal deep dive to work on it so people can cope. I
Right.
just don't want everybody's trauma plastered on YouTube. But yeah, let's learn to cope with our. Everybody has dealt with a lot of stress and anxiety after the last 2 years, you know, but everybody doesn't need to stuff their stuff.
Oh man, I'm a stuffer. I'm putting it in bags. I'm hiding it under the door. I'm hiding it in the behind the couches. I'm like, nobody needs to see that. And I
No.
have that. I'm gonna have a smile on my face, and everything's fine. I was one of those people. Everything was always, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm okay,
Well, see, that's the
even
other
when
thing.
I wasn't.
I hate it when we ask people, "How are you doing?" "Oh, I'm fine. I'm good." And you know it's BS. Hopefully they are. But when I ask people, "How are you?" I actually want to know, "How are you?"
Mhm.
I mean, I'm one of those that I really want to know, "How are you?" I want you to tell me. I don't ask unless I want to know. But I
And see,
find it's hard for people to say. You know, I'll ask them, they won't tell me. I mean,
and
it's like,
see, you just exposed one of my hypocritical ways with that too, because when I ask people how they're doing, I want to hear what's going on. Like if one of my students comes to me and I say, "How are you doing?" and they'll go, "Yeah, I'm fine," and I'm like, "Your words are saying that, but your face is telling me a different story. Tell
yeah,
me." And so if I see what you're, I need to, I just need to stop thinking that I have to carry my stuff myself. Yeah, man, man, I've missed this community. I'm so glad to be back.
well, I'm so happy that you are back. I wish more people would interact in this community. It makes me feel better when people do and they actually get some healing out of it or feel better, you know what I mean? That's what it's all about. Love, support, healing, feeling better. I want people to leave feeling better than when they came in.
Hmm.
um, I That's truly my goal for all of this. I mean, sometimes we talk about what's going on out there in La La Land, but uh Nikki says, I just added you ordered steps on my IG. My name
Oh,
is Colette.
and Leanne, I saw you. I think I saw Leanne ask me to look for her too. Y'all gonna make me cry. Nikki, I
Oh,
got you. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here so you can do your thing. I don't wanna, like I said, I don't wanna overstay my welcome.
never. You were just so greatly loved.
Well, I appreciate it.
You could never overstay. I am
Okay,
surrounded with so much light,
oh, I
and I'm
appreciate you so much. You
honored
know
you came
that.
back. Honored.
I'm glad to be back. I don't. Okay, let me just be completely honest. I think that when I start feeling like I don't need to be around anybody, or my defense, my walls, I tend to wall off a lot. If I'm not doing, if I feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I don't want anybody else to see that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Or if I get in a protective mode, then my walls come completely up, and I just kind of exist rather than live, so I just start going through the motions. Oh, I got to go to work. Oh, I got to go to teach class. Oh, I got to go sit in church for an hour, and then come on, I'm just robotic. And that's what happened. I just shut myself off for a while, and I had to shake myself out of it.
I can understand that. And that's what my last live was about.
See, I'm gonna go back and watch the replay.
I was talking about people getting trapped on a hamster wheel.
I'm always talking about being on a hamster wheel.
And that's normal. It's a protective device people use.
Mm.
So it's okay. It's all okay. I've been guilty of that too. Just being stuck in a pattern and not stopping to see what was going on in my life. Yeah.
Okay, but
Sometimes,
you know I gotta crack a joke. You know I
okay.
gotta crack a joke because that's who I am. But if I'm on that hamster wheel, that's the only running I can do.
That's okay too.
That and running late. Them the only times I run.
I get that too. I'm so
Uh,
disorganized. It's a hot mess. Yeah.
oh man. But let me give you your stage back. I'm still gonna be in the chat, but I'm gonna look for Leanne's Instagram because she just told me to follow her. But
Okay.
if I feel the urge to come back up, I will. I promise.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
Precious. So precious. But I'm so grateful that she came up. Debbie says she should have come a long time ago. Thank you so much, Debbie. I'm so happy to see new faces and everything as well. But I wanted to talk about also some ways to prevent some of the stress. I mean, we know talking about it helps, but also make sure that I know people don't want to sometimes. If you can exercise, exercise. Even if you can only do it from the arms up, because exercise helps endorphins. Endorphins help lower your stress, which helps with anxiety. Make sure that you are getting enough water because oftentimes you're suffering from dehydration. You take your body weight, divide it by half, and that is how many ounces you should be getting of water a day. Soda does not count for dehydration, nor does coffee. Caffeine dehydrates you. Caffeine dehydrates you. Now, tea's okay, not too much tea. Meditation we know helps and breathing, the conscious breathing. Sleep is imperative. If you're not getting good sleep, it increases your stress and anxiety. Now, your sleep can vary. You need to test yourself on a weekend or sometime when you don't have to work. Let yourself wake up naturally to figure out how many hours of sleep you typically need. But those basic needs are important. Your diet. If you eat a good, healthy diet 80% of the time, it's okay if you eat junky 20% of the time. But you need to try to eat healthy about 80, which means a pretty balanced diet of vegetables, vegetables, meat. If you eat meat, you don't have to eat meat. But try to keep the bad carbs down. Try to keep the bad carbs down. Eating bad carbs 20%, eating junky about 20%, that's okay. It doesn't mean you have to eat perfect all the time, but it's really important. The hydration, some exercise, sleep, your diet, keeping a check on those things to help keep your stress down, to help keep your anxiety down. Now, not everybody's a pet person, but I find that my pets help me a lot. They help with my stress and anxiety. They do. And I also have to say, when I come in here with all of you, hey, Rosemary, my day can be crappy. But when I come in here with all of you and we connect like we do, Of course, I go into prayer and meditation before, and I surround myself with a cocoon of white light. I connect with my angels. I ask for this whole channel to be filled with light. And I ask for all of you to be surrounded by light. And I ask that you leave feeling better than when you came in. Hopefully, that's the way it is. But when I connect with all of you, I always leave generally feeling better than when I came in. I do. And no, crying is not a weakness. It is not a weakness. And it's very cleansing to the soul. It's so very cleansing. And it is a way to eliminate anxiety and stress. It helps alleviate so much that you're holding in. And it helps lower blood pressure too. All that emotion and that tanked up anxiety and stress, you can feel it often in your chest. When you cry, oftentimes, it's just very. And, we don't do it all the time, but a lot of times we will sit at the dinner table and we'll try to talk about what's the yuck of the day and what's the better of the day, or the pit and the cherry. But we try to share what's going on in our lives, even if I don't understand everything that's going on at my husband's work. He'll tell me about it, and I try to keep up. He's an IT guy. Right now, there's a lot of not so good stuff going on in his work. But it's about being supportive of everybody. Oh, no worry. I talk to him almost every day. I will let him know ordered steps. I will let him know. He is a sweetheart. He and I both did some healing work with a lady that is dealing with cancer this morning. We both go into prayer, and we did some healing work. We can't guarantee anything. Fingers crossed. She's in palliative care. They're doing a fundraiser for her. I might want to try to continue it for her. I'm considering that. Unfortunately, my channel's small, but I might want to continue it on all of my platforms to see how far we can go. It's the second time she's going through it, so. But also with anxiety, if you're having a lot of anxiety, it is good to lower your caffeine. And if you smoke, try to quit or lower that, because it exacerbates it. Another thing I have found, rubber band around your wrist, popping it when the anxiety starts to heighten. Instead of beating yourself up over everything, try to detach and think of yourself as a human and give yourself grace. Everyone around you is trying to chase a dream or do something better. Would you beat your friend up the same way you're beating yourself up? Aw, he sees it. Would you beat yourself up the same way? Beat your friend up the same way you're beating yourself up? No, you wouldn't. So why are you beating yourself up that way? Why are expectations so high and hard? You have to ask yourself these things, because when you're making it so high and hard, you're making it more difficult for you to achieve what you want. Have you ever thought of it that way? I wish I would glow down. I'm turning all the lights away from me, and I won't glow down. My husband always goes, "You're too bright." Well, I keep turning the lights away. Sometimes you have to think of things objectively. If you wouldn't put the same pressure on your child, why put the same pressure on yourself? Can you really lead by example? If they see you putting that kind of pressure on yourself, what does it say to your child or your friend or your brother? Be the plant. Like I told Ordered Step, be the plant. Water yourself. Be the plant. And as far as stress, learn to say no to some things. The world is not going to end. What is the worst thing that's going to happen if you say no and prioritize some things? What is the worst thing that will happen? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? And one of those things you need to prioritize is yourself. You have to prioritize some fun in your life, some goofiness, some silliness. Make a phone call to a friend that you haven't talked to in a while. Connect with somebody. Join something fun just because it's fun, not because you're going to get a certificate. Rosemary says, I think I beat up on myself because that is what I learned as a child. And who taught you that, Rosemary? Who taught you that? Is that a lesson you like to pass on? If that is not a lesson you like to pass on, it is time to break that rule and make a new rule. Be the plant. Water the plant. Nurture the plant. Be the plant. Time to make a new rule that nurtures Rosemary instead of being the walking mat that everybody steps on. If it is not serving you well, it goes in the garbage. If it's not serving you well, it goes in the garbage. Because otherwise, she beat on you. I am so very sorry. So, this is the time that it's a good thing, or it would be a good time to have that private Zoom to learn how to heal through trauma. Because it's about reparenting yourself. Sheila says some people beat themselves up first, so that way it stops anyone else getting a shot in. Good point. Very good point. It's a self-defense mechanism. Yes. But also some people beat themselves up first because they are trying to be perfect. They are trying to be perfect. Again, if anyone's interested, again, I have to have enough people to make it worth it, and it would be love offering only. I would be willing to do it would have to be a Zoom. I don't know what to call it, to work through trauma. You would have to picture, what would I call it, Sheila? It's not a Zoom course. A Zoom, not necessarily meeting, but it would be a Zoom. Anyway, it would be to, I guess it's a meeting, but it would be a Zoom course. It's not a course, to help people, a Zoom session to help people work through trauma. I guess it's sort of like a course, a therapeutic type course to work through trauma. A Zoom healing course to work through trauma. Let's call it that. But that sounds janky. But if anybody's interested, I would be willing to do it. But I'd need to have more people to make it worth it. Hey, Sheila, Steve.
Good morning.
Good evening. How you doing?
It's a bit. Here we go. We'll see if we can fix it up. Is that better?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what to call it. It's not a Zoom's.
Yeah. Well, it is a Zoom meeting because that's what they classify them as. But it's just probably more the case of that. For you, it's not really a meeting. It's more of a healing session. So it's
Yeah, let's call it
as
a trauma healing session to
as
learn
long as
how
it's
to.
run by Zoom, it can be whatever you want it to call it.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
to learn how to navigate trauma. Yeah, I just don't know a better
Yeah.
title is what I was trying to. Oh, you froze for a second. You know what I mean? I didn't have an eloquent title.
My I can. I'm assuming you can hear me, but I definitely can't hear you. There's something wrong with my cell phone today. So and
Oh.
I'd say it's definitely not you because I can hear you when I'm not in StreamYard. But all
Okay.
I was going to just jump in for a minute. I'm just with Nan at the doctor's surgery, but I was just going to say to you guys, ordered steps, take up Dana on the whole thing. Just trust her, give it a go. Nothing to lose because we all go through our stuff. We're all still dealing with our stuff. Sometimes it's just really great that you've got someone that can give you some insight and some honesty and a bit of encouragement at the same time. So, look, what's the worst thing that can happen? You'll just end up being in a place where you'll just have some more direction and you'll feel better. That's the worst thing that can happen. Geez, so I won't stay on, but I just wanted to just say that because it is scary stepping out and for a lot of us to sit there and take that leap of faith and go, yeah, I'm going to do something to heal ourselves. That the young girl or the young boy, for most of us, we've built we've built an ego around our life as self-defense mechanisms to not actually have to deal with the pain that we got as trauma as children from experiences that we had from family and friends. And the great thing with Dana is that she'll always do you right. So if she offers to help, and if it resonates with you, just take it because it'll you'll just end up in a far better place for it. So I just wanted to share that.
Mm.
So I'm going to jump off for now, but yeah, as I say, and that's all I can say. And just we all know she's awesome, but go one-on-one with her and take a risk, and then tell me the following week how it went because I'd love to know how you go. All right, but for now I'm going to bail.
He's such a sweetheart. My Aussie bestie. I just would like to see if I could alleviate your pain at least or minimize it. I can't do. I hate hearing that people are in such physical pain. I know that when I have my relapse modes, when it storms and stuff, 1 out of 10 is not a 10 for me. It's a 15, and I can't hardly stand to be in my skin. So yeah, I have to go, dear Dana. Hubby had to. Oh no, hubby had to have surgery again last Wednesday. It's been a tough road. Love you. Had to get a few minutes of peace and love. Oh, bless your sweetheart, Rosemary. Take it easy. Sending love and prayers. Um, so much love. But does anybody have any questions? Are you getting anything out of this? Take those moments. Try to identify your triggers throughout the day, especially. Especially be astute at what you're surrounding yourself with that are amping up, love you too, Rosemary, that are amping up your stress levels, even if it's environmental. Sometimes we're just hearing outside noise, television, what we're exposing ourselves to, right? Are people arguing? Is there stuff on television that we're listening to? Are we exposing ourselves to too much news, too much social media? That's a big one. Too much social media, or mainstream media, or gossiping, right? Cut some of it out. Cut some of it out. I got a vibration plate for my birthday. One of the best things I did when I feel like my body's starting to tense up from stress, I hop on that thing for 10, 15 minutes and it brings my stress level down. I do. Because believe you me, there's going to be something that stresses me out during the day and I can feel it coming. Order Step says she doesn't watch news or mainstream media either. And if I have to keep seeing Amber Heard on stuff, good Lord, that woman single handedly has made most of the world sick of her. Seriously, the world's got enough problems. Another thing, make sure you're grounding yourself. While you possibly can, go out and stand on the grass barefoot. Oh, Ordered Steps, you will love it. You know I've got MS. You will love it. It's so helpful. I got it to help with my balance, and it helps strengthen your bones. It helps your lymph glands and stuff. Lymph glands drain like they're supposed to. For those that want to lose weight, if you do it consistently, it's supposed to help you lose weight. If you do it like 30 minutes a day, different times, because there's 10-minute limits at a time. There's all kinds of health benefits. It's been studied over the years. It's a vibration plate. Do your research and look it up on YouTube. You can do like those bands with it if you want to, but it takes a little practice. But I knew that as I got older, that MS was going to be a challenge for me. So I went ahead and got one. But there's all kinds of other benefits to it. The whole family can do it. But yeah, it's called a vibration plate. But literally, find things to do for yourself. Remember your conscious breathing. Look up YouTube and look at some meditations you can do, even if you have to listen to them while you sleep. If you go to sleep while listening to it, no problem, because your unconscious brain still hears it. But do your grounding outside. Go walk around plants, even if you have to go to Home Depot and walk in the nursery. Do things outside of your box to nurture yourself. Get out in nature. All of these things bring down your stress and anxiety. They bring down your stress and anxiety. You will be amazed at how your life feels like it begins to shift. Everything doesn't have to cost money. It doesn't. So these things are my advice. Go have an ice cream with your partner, but don't do it from the grocery store. Literally, go get an ice cream from Dairy Queen or somewhere and go walk in the park. Go feed the ducks. Go do things like that. I'm pleading with you. Make the shift Get away from your environment. Be the plant. Be the plant. Oh, excellent, Leanne. Yeah, watch the birds. Sit on a bench and people watch. Don't let them get you. And pretend like you're guessing what their life is like. You know what I mean? Make up a story in your head. People watch, butterfly watch, whatever watch. Just go decompress. But it's time. Everybody in here's got a lovely light soul that you become the plant, and then you're able to help others more effectively as you need and as you can. And that's not always about money. You get what I'm saying? And if you run into a stranger and you can open a door for them, very simple thing. Just that little connection makes a stranger feel better. You feel better. You see what I'm saying? All of these tiny things start to add up, and you will be surprised at how things begin to flip for you and your life. Ah, you live on a farm? Oh, Leanne, I want to live on a farm. But anyway, I hope that this has been helpful. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I love hearing from you. You have no idea how much I love hearing from you. If there's something else you'd like to discuss, if you have a problem, if you need advice, I'm all ears. I'm all ears. You can drop anything in the comments below that you'd like to talk about. I love hearing your comments as well. Yeah, I'd love to hear your. I just got a brain glitch. Leave it to me. I'd love to hear your comments as well. Um, like I said, I really appreciate you. Anybody like to buy me a coffee, you can at miracles3 at charter.net or at Dear Dana 1111 on Cash App. I will see you all on Saturday night. Again, I am grateful for all of you. Thank you for being here. You have my heart. And remember, your vibe attracts your tribe. And that is the truth. Please take care of yourselves. Be the plant. Work on lowering your stress and anxiety. And I will see everybody on Saturday. Take it easy. And this is it. Till next time. Bye, everybody. Mwah. Here we go. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Please like, subscribe, share. Why do I always forget to say that? I'm a ding dong. Yes, please like, subscribe, and share. Bye, everybody.